Lieutenant Hudson, you monitoring this area?
You saw in the opening clip that Cole Allen, the person that breached Secret Service security last night at the Hilton Hotel and the White House Correspondents Dinner, well, he knew that security was lax. He actually commented about it in his manifesto. You can see here that he was shocked at the lack of security at the hotel. And he goes on to say that for days going into the event last night, he was walking in and out of the hotel transporting everything that he had on him. But what exactly did Cole have on him? Have a listen to the DC police chief just after they got their hands on Cole.
Detail for the Correspondents Dinner. As the mayor mentioned, at approximately 8:36 tonight, an individual charged a U.S. Secret Service checkpoint here in the lobby area of the hotel. He was armed with a shotgun, a handgun, and multiple knives. As he ran through that checkpoint, members of law enforcement from the United States Secret Service intercepted that individual. This is a very preliminary investigation at this point. We do know that law enforcement exchanged gunfire with the individual. We do know that a U.S. Secret Service uniformed division officer was struck in his vest. He was transported to a local hospital for treatment. He seems to be in good spirits at this time. The suspect in this case, he was not struck by gunfire. However, he was transported to a local hospital to be evaluated. Detail.
I mean, the first point, and again, I hate to say this, but it's obvious. Why is he still alive? Having breached security with multiple Secret Service agents all over, how could he get multiple shots off at Secret Service and still be walking, still be in good spirits? This is outrageous. But what's even more outrageous is we're now starting to hear from reporters that were at the event that say that the security was anything but good. Have a listen.
A gun into the White House. How did somebody get a gun into the White House Correspondents' Dinner? Honestly, as somebody who went, there was no security. You just showed your ticket and you were able to completely get in. There was just no pat downs, no metal detectors, nothing going on. So really horrible setup, and I just don't even understand how that was a thing when the United States president was going to speak, who has already had assassination attempts on his life. So really crazy. How did someone...
Totally agree. I mean, this is outrageous where, again, this is the third time that they've been able to breach security and try to put a threat on Donald Trump. Here's Bill Malugen, one of the Fox News analysts. He goes through exactly the breakdown of what he experienced with security. He said, first, the exterior security for me on the street of the hotel, I flashed my ticket and was waved through. My name was not checked against any list. I didn't have to show an ID. I was not patted down. I didn't really have to go through a medical detector. I just showed my ticket. From that point, I walked into the hotel with no further security check, and I walked down to a Fox News pre-party where there were multiple ballrooms and parties going on, but again, still didn't have to go through any security at that point. So if hypothetically, if he had anything on his person, in his shoe or in his jacket, he'd have no problem at all getting it at least that deep into the perimeter of the hotel, where just minutes, if not hours later, Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, and the whole cabinet for the Trump administration were going to be hanging out in a ballroom. Only once it was time to get into the main ballroom for dinner did we have to pass through a magnetometer, empty our pockets, and get a pat-down. And even that checkpoint was just outside the main dinner room. So again, the threat potential for getting within 100 yards of the ballroom, or feet of the ballroom, but 100 yards of the stage where Donald Trump is, or very close, if not closer to cabinet members, there was nothing to it. So again, the Secret Service reacted quickly during this event, but the perimeter schematic and the opening clip that I showed you where Cole, the assailant, just sprinted through a security checkpoint, it's beyond bizarre. It doesn't make sense. How could this happen with the most important and powerful person in the world and his security? Here's Kennedy. She's a Fox News lady, but she talks about how she changed hotels at the last minute yesterday and booked a room at the Hilton at 3 p.m. She was never asked for a key, but could have produced one, never asked for an ID. She waltzed right on through the lobby into the lower ballroom areas like she owned the place. She only saw one law enforcement dog by the red carpet, which also had security, lacks security, because we saw protesters make it that far into the red carpet area of the functioning event. Outrageous. We're going to end with this, though. This is Carrie Lake, the lady that had a run for governor and senator in the state of Arizona. And she comments here, "I can't believe how lax the security was at the White House Correspondents Dinner tonight. Upon entering, nobody asked to visibly inspect her ticket, nor asked for a photo ID. All one had to do was to flash what appeared to be a ticket, and they were fine with that and waved on through." You have 90% of Donald Trump's administration in this one room, all of the power players. And this is, again, what happens with the complete security protocol breakdown by the Secret Service. Yet again, this is also why we need that ballroom on the White House property proper built. And Donald Trump talks about that, and he did last evening in his initial press meeting.
A particularly secure building, and I didn't want to say this, but this is why we have to have all of the attributes of what we're planning at the White House. It's actually a larger room, and it's much more secure. It's drone-proof, it's bulletproof glass. We need the ballroom. That's why Secret Service, that's why the military are demanding it. They've wanted the ballroom for 150 years for lots of different reasons, but today's a little bit different because today we need levels of security that probably nobody's ever seen before.
It couldn't be more right. I mean, Donald Trump, again, this is the third time, and we know that's the third time that just we know about. I'm sure these instances happen much more than that. But just remember, 10 days ago, a radicalized federal judge stopped the ballroom from being built and had to go through some administration processes and get a whole bunch of lawyers involved. So here we have a repeated pattern of Secret Service breakdowns, of perimeter being permeable by radical left members that have been listening to the fake news media and all of their junk that they throw at Donald Trump. Listening to Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer, and others who have had escalating rhetoric on a daily basis against Donald Trump. And now we have a need for something like this, a ballroom, because we see what happens. What happens when we have complete breakdowns at a security level with a function as meaningless as the White House Correspondents Dinner. This is just a fun little social event. Doesn't matter. Donald Trump doesn't need to go. He goes there because this is kind of a fun little event to jab at each other and have as a halftime show. Well, the halftime show, you can see, was clearly permeable when you have somebody that makes it through just by sprinting through a security checkpoint and then fires multiple shots on Secret Service. But then again, this is my question. Why is he still walking? Why is he still in good spirits? What is wrong with the marksmanship and the qualifications that we should expect of the security that's protecting Donald Trump? Why are they missing? This is, again, if you recall, in West Palm Beach with that gentleman that was at the golf course, the Secret Service agent took multiple shots and missed. Again, took multiple shots and missed. This is not adding up. But what is adding up is Donald Trump is right. They need to be able to get this ballroom built so that they can have social functions that are safe from drones and all of these escalating threats. Because if we can take anything from the event last evening at the Hilton, it's that Donald Trump shouldn't be going to these anymore. That's he should, and he was gracious in giving the Secret Service a compliment. But at this point, we have no faith. We have no faith in what their ability to do, which is their main duty, which is to protect the life of the president. Because again, they're setting up detail perimeters that are completely permeable to the point where the manifesto by Cole says that he was shocked at the lack of security at the Hilton. What are your thoughts? What did I miss here? Because again, we have to talk about this. This is unacceptable and can't happen. Can't happen with the security presence that's surrounding the president and having multiples of these types of events. Unacceptable. I'm curious what your thoughts. Did I miss anything? The comments are wide open down below. In the very next video, I'm going to go through the whole manifesto from Cole and how he was so impressionable, but also left some really key footprints in his social media profiles, all of which the media is not talking about. I'm going to break it all down for you. It's in the very next video. Have a look.